Guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel, and today I have a very, very special video. And in fact, it is the first video that I've released on this channel about World of Tanks, kind of. Because I'm not counting those live streams and that, of course. But I'm going to be explaining everything that you need to know about blueprints and how they affect the game and how you can earn them and where can you even find these things? Where are they in the game? So, as of patch 1.14.1, Wargaming added a new feature into World Tanks that allows you to basically get a discount on the experience cost of any tank that is in the tech tree, which is super awesome because one of the most annoying things about World of Tanks is the XP grind. Well, arguably. Specifically with certain vehicles more so than others. But anyways, so next you might be wondering, how do you actually earn these blueprints? Well, that's a great question. So you can earn these blueprints, or rather blueprint fragments, which will make up a whole blueprint eventually, by playing tier 5 to tier 10 vehicles. And it's more of a probability of whether you will actually get them or not. But every battle that you play, and also the better that you play in each battle, it will actually increase the likelihood of you getting what's called a reward for merit. So if you just played a battle, let's say there's a 10% chance that you're going to get a reward for merit at the end of your battle. If you don't get it after that battle, because it's so unlikely, it's only 10% likelihood that you're going to get it, well, the next battle will increase it to, let's say, 25%. Of course, these are fictional numbers. These aren't accurate. But I'm making up numbers to show you what I mean by this. So every battle you play, if you don't get a reward for merit, your chance for getting them on the next battle is increased. Also, if you play really good on that battle or your next battle or whatever, that increases your chance even more. So basically, you want to play as effectively in battle as possible and also as much as possible, like quantity and quality, and that will improve and that will increase the probability that you'll get one of these. Now, once you get a reward for merit, there will be different things that will show. When you end your battle, you'll come back to an interface that looks like this, but instead of the cloth being there, it will be uncovered, and it'll show you what your prizes are. Now, these can be anywhere from cruise skins, which are like, whatever, it's Wargaming. Why did you add them? You can also get consumables, credits, and blueprints. And I think there might be directives that you can also get from this too. So you could definitely get a good prize whenever you unlock this reward for merit. But the nice thing about it is those blueprints. This is the only way that you can earn blueprints in game. There's 4 stages of the reward for merit that are kind of an equal size, typically speaking. And then there's the 5th reward, which is larger than the rest. So every 5 rewards for merit, you get an extra large reward, which is really nice. Now, an interesting thing about this, and I'll actually show an image. As you can see here in this image, there are 3 different kinds of locks. There's the solid lock, which basically means that you are not going to be very likely to get a reward next battle, or this battle, or whatever. The next one, which means there's a larger chance, and then the final one, which means it's pretty likely you're going to get one after this battle, especially if you have a really good game that game. That means you're going to get it more than likely. So, of course, these aren't set in stone because it's still a probability. I don't know how frequently that the probabilities adhere to that, but it's a general idea of how long you're going to have to wait until you get your next reward. Now, sometimes you go a while, sometimes you can go 10 battles or more maybe, or you can have it every couple of battles sometimes. It just depends. It fluctuates. Now, something that's interesting to note also is sometimes you can actually get 2 blueprints at least. I don't know if you can get more, but I did get one reward that gave me 2 blueprints in the same box. Kind of interesting. Not always going to be just one blueprint, although typically speaking, it will be. Now we're going to look at how blueprints actually affect the XP costs of your tank. So we go to the tech tree here. They've kind of changed the background of the tech tree. Now we can notice this grant has a 2% symbol on it. That means that we have at least one discount in XP because we got a blueprint for it. We also have it on the FV4005 and the Conqueror gun carrier. Now, all of these, we only have one. I haven't gotten a duplicate yet. Now, it's kind of difficult. You can see right there that it says about 181,000 is the new XP cost as opposed to what it used to be, which was 195,000. Now, that's a significant decrease. That's a couple of hours of gameplay, at least, that just gets sliced off the cost automatically. And by the way, once you get these blueprints, they automatically apply to that designated tank. The interesting thing is that there's actually a blueprint icon over here that I'm going to say puts us into blueprint mode. And you can actually see the progress you've made. So it'll tell you 1 out of 12, which, by the way, there's a specific number of blueprints that you need for depending on what tier the tank is. And every tier, basically every tier, the quantity, basically every tier that you go up, the quantity also goes up. So we can see over here that these tier 2s and tier 3s and tier 4s only need 4 fragments. Then the tier 5s and 6s need 6, and the tier 8s and 7s, I guess 7, and the tier 7s and 8s need 8, and then the tier 9s need 10, and the tier 10s 12. That's the case universally. If you have 1 out of 12, you get a 1/12 discount off of the XP, or in other words, 7%, as we see there. And in this mode, it'll actually tell you exactly how much discount you have, which is 13,650 on the FE405 for me. And then on the Conqueror gun carrier, you can see that it's 18,690 experience discount. So that's only 7%, but that's a huge discount. So even though they require more fragments, you get a large discount because of how much these cost in experience. And you can do this individually for each nation. You can go into each nation and look at specifically what you have for each tank. Like I have one for the Object 704, which gives me a 17,000 XP discount, or a 9% discount in other words. And then same thing for all these things. And so you can go looking around for these, or you can also go to the depot and click on this blueprint icon here. And what this will tell you is the amount of blueprints, the amount of discount, and for what tanks they apply to. And then you can also easily, it's all organized. You don't have to go searching through every nation. It's all right here. You can apply filters. And then also, it tells you something very interesting as well. It tells you how many universal fragments and national fragments you have. And let's get into what those are. So basically, if you already have a tank that is researched, but the reward for merit gives you a blueprint for it, it will be automatically turned into a universal blueprint, which can be applied to any nation, or a national blueprint. But it will be of the corresponding nation of the tank that the blueprint was originally for. So let's say I got a blueprint for the AMX ELC BIS. I already have that tank researched. So it will immediately turn into either a universal fragment or into a French national fragment. It can't turn into any other national fragment. It has to be French. Same thing for any Russian tank. If you already have a Russian tank researched and it gives you a blueprint for that Russian tank, it will give you either a universal or a Russian national blueprint. So, and then you can see in the depot a very organized format of how many national blueprints you have and universal blueprints, as well as all the specific tank blueprints. So you might be asking, what's the use in having universal and national blueprints? Well, actually, you can pick a tank to have to immediately obtain a blueprint fragment for, which is really nice, especially when RNG is not on your side and does not pick tanks you might need a discount for really badly. So how it works is each tank, let's take the AMX 1390 for example. Let's go into blueprint mode. So if we wanted one blueprint fragment for the AMX 1390, all we would need to have, well, all is 12 universal fragments, as it says in the menu here, 3 French national blueprints, and then we would have our blueprint fragment, which would give us a 10% discount on XP on the AMX 1390. And you can do that with any tank. You can just pick a tank, and it's specific to tiers. So tier 10s, you're going to pay 12 and 4 for the universal and national to get one blueprint fragment. So I mean, if you want to get all 12 blueprint fragments, that's going to be quite expensive. But we'll get to that in a little bit. Same thing for the tier 8. It goes down. Every tier that it goes down, it's cheaper to craft, we'll say, a blueprint fragment for that tank. This is 10 universals and 3 nationals. This is 8 universals and 3 nationals. All tier 6s are 6 universals and 2 French nationals. And all tier 5s are 6 universals and 2 nationals. And then the tiers 4, 3, and 2 are all 4 universals and 1 national. Although I'd like to mention a quick tip on that. Don't ever craft a blueprint fragment for a tier 2 to 4 vehicle. Their cost and experience is already super minor. You look at this tank, this costs 280 experience. 25% of that is hardly anything. You can easily get 280 experience in a couple of battles. Same applies for tier 3s and tier 4s. It's just not a significant discount. Now, tier 5s on the other hand, you can get a highly significant discount. So for instance, if I wanted to craft a blueprint for the 735 CA, that's 12,000 experience. Now, a sixth of that is about 2,000 experience. Now, that's a considerable discount, whereas this would merely be less than 1,000 XP discount. So, if you get a tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 blueprint, that's fine, that helps. But don't craft them, it's just a waste. That's why they're so cheap to craft. Whereas these cost a little bit more, but they have a much more significant discount. So I definitely recommend starting at tier 5s and higher if you're going to craft any blueprints. Now, here's a really cool thing. If you can manage to unlock and or craft all the necessary blueprints for a specific vehicle, then you can get the entire vehicle completely free of any XP charge. So each fragment is cumulative until you eventually get all fragments, which allow you to get the entire tank for free in terms of experience paid. So basically making the grind much easier. Although I feel like this is going to be very rarely the case. Because of the randomness of how the blueprints get dished out, I feel like it's going to be very unlikely that you'll actually be able to get a tank for completely free. But in the very least, you're going to be able to get a significant discount on any tier 5 or a higher tank. And then the tier 2s to 4s, that could help out a little bit. So, very nice indeed. Although it is important to remember that this does not affect the credit cost. And also, if I were to have completely unlocked the AMX 13105, got all 12 fragments, and it was completely free to research, you have to still research all preceding tanks. This includes for all vehicles. All preceding vehicles before you can actually research it and buy it. You can't just get the tier 10 and skip the entire tech tree. You have to go through the tech tree at least a little. Well, and that's blueprints in a nutshell. If you like this video or you found it useful, smash that thumbs up and let me know down in the comments. And if there's anything that you guys still have questions about, feel free to leave it down in the comments below and I will try to answer those questions for you guys. Overall, I'm really looking forward to the implications that this will have and helping to the grind to be less painful in World of Tanks, especially with as many tanks as there are in the game. I mean, hundreds, and this will help us to get right to the good stuff. I'm also going to start uploading videos on a regular schedule now, and hopefully we'll be able to get some good World Tanks action in there. Yeah, we'll see what we can do. But for now, that's going to be all, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you later.